Hello everyone and welcome to Smart Course on CAIIB. Today we are going to cover Unit 8 of Module A under Advanced Bank Management. In this unit, we are going to study monetary policy and fiscal policy. Monetary policy and fiscal policy are the two components of economic policy, which means policies made by the government which have an effect on the economic growth of a country. Monetary policy, as the name suggests, is related to money supply and is controlled by the RBI. The money supply needs very careful adjustments from time to time. Because if we have very loose money supply, we will have high inflation. And if we have very tight money supply, we are most likely to face a recession. On the other hand, fiscal policy is the policy made by the government regarding the finances of the country. Governments have a big responsibility to manage the money for the country. It has to collect money in form of taxes and formulate schemes to utilize this money for the benefits of its citizens. Okay, now that we have a basic idea of these policies, let's look at both of them in detail. Let's start with monetary policy. Monetary policy deals with the money supply in an economy. If the money supply is too fast, it is called expansionary policy or loose money policy. This means that a lot of money is injected into the system at a very fast rate. This is usually done to give a little push to the economy in times of crisis. Such an expansionary policy can be beneficial at times. We have seen liquidity injection by RBI to save our economy from the effects of corona outbreak. That was an example of expansionary policy. Now the opposite of expansionary policy is contractionary policy, also known as the tight money supply, which means reducing money supply in the market by sucking out excess liquidity. This is done to control inflation, as we know that with excess money supply, inflation rises. So through contractionary policy, the inflation can be reduced. To put simply, in expansionary policy, we have increased money supply, increased economic activity, and increased inflation. On the other hand, in contractionary policy, we have reduced money supply, reduced economic activity, and reduced inflation. This money supply is tweaked by the RBI from time to time to manage a balanced growth and inflation. But one obvious question arises, how does RBI suck or inject liquidity into our system? Well, RBI or the central bank has some tools under its monetary policy through which it manages the liquidity in our system. Let's discuss each of them. First is cash reserve ratio or simply CRR. Cash reserve ratio means the percentage of cash that a bank needs to maintain with the central bank, which in India is RBI. Basically in India we have a system called the fractional reserve banking system, which means whatever deposits a bank get, a percentage of that needs to be kept as reserve with the RBI in form of cash. For example, if I deposit 100 rupees in your bank and the CRR is 4%, you will have to send 4 rupees as cash to the RBI. Please note that no interest is paid on the CRR that the banks deposit with the RBI. Now let's understand how CRR affects liquidity in our economy. If CRR is increased, that means banks will have to keep more money as reserve with the RBI and therefore will have less money to give out as loans. So banks will be forced to either give fewer loans or increase their lending rates and therefore liquidity in economy will decrease. Similarly, if CRR is decreased, banks will have more money to lend and therefore will give more loans or simply decrease their interest rate to create more demand for loans, which will result in increased liquidity. Our next tool is called Statutory Liquidity Ratio or SLR. Statutory Liquidity Ratio refers to the amount that banks need to maintain in cash or gold or government securities. Unlike CRR, SLR needs to be kept with the bank itself and not the RBI. SLR also affects liquidity in a way that is similar to CRR. If SLR is increased, more money needs to be maintained in form of government securities or cash, so there is less amount of loanable funds with the banks, which in turn leads to lower liquidity. And if SLR is reduced, banks will have more money to give as loans, so it increases liquidity in the system. There are some reasons behind introducing SLR. The main objectives for maintaining statutory liquidity ratio are to manage liquidity in economy, to ensure stability of banks by making it compulsory for them to invest in safe government securities, to create a demand for government securities as banks will have to buy them to maintain their SLR. Next instrument is open market operations. Open market operations or OMO is the fancy name for buying and selling of government securities by the RBI. If RBI plans to buy securities, it will give money in exchange of these securities, which means money supply in an economy will increase. In other words, liquidity will be injected. And if RBI plans to sell government securities, it means that it will take money in exchange of these securities, which means liquidity will decrease, or it can be said that liquidity is sucked out of the system. The reason why RBI is able to make such an impact by simply buying and selling of securities is that the amounts are so large that it actually makes a big difference in liquidity. Next instrument is the most famous tool used by the RBI. It is called repo and reverse repo. Repo rate is the short form of repurchase rate. It is the rate at which RBI will give loans to banks for a short term by repurchasing the government securities. In a repo transaction, the bank who needs money will give the government security to RBI at a discounted price and will repurchase the security after a short period of time at full value from RBI. For example, a government security priced at 100 rupees will be sold by the borrower bank to RBI to get 95 rupees with an agreement that the same bank will purchase this security back from RBI at a later date at full value, that is 100 rupees. This is a little different from normal loan because here actual buying and selling of securities take place. Similarly, we have reverse repo, which is the same concept but the roles here are reversed. Whenever RBI wants to remove liquidity from system, it can do so with reverse repo, where RBI will sell government securities to banks at a discounted rate and will buy back at full value after some time. So it is like banks giving their surplus funds as a loan to RBI. But again, the difference from a regular loan is that actual buying and selling of securities take place. Usually repo and reverse repo are for very short term, like overnight or fortnightly. But recently, RBI had announced repo operations for 1 year and 3 year called the long term repo operation or simply LTRO. Then we have bank rate. Bank rate is the rate at which banks can get loans from RBI for a longer period. It is similar to bill discounting, where RBI discounts the loans given by the banks. It is also called the discount rate. Although this tool is not used much these days, but you must have a basic idea about the concept. And lastly, we have the Market Stabilization Scheme or MSS. To explain this, let me remind you the time of demonetization, when everyone went to their banks to deposit all the cash they had. This suddenly flooded liquidity with the banks, and banks were in no situation to use this excess liquidity, but they had to pay interest to their customers for their deposits. So to stabilize this situation, Market Stabilization Scheme was used, where all of the cash was absorbed by the central bank and interest was paid on this deposit by the RBI to the banks. This tool is used to stabilize sudden liquidity shocks in the economy. So we have covered monetary policy and now we are going to move to fiscal policy. But before that, I have some homework for you. We just studied about different tools of monetary policy. Now you have to tell me what is the current, repo rate, reverse repo rate, bank rate, SLR and CRR. Write down your answers in the comment section. Now let's move to fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is the use of government spending and revenue collection to influence the economy. There are three main components of fiscal policy: taxation, borrowing, and expenditure. The objectives of fiscal policy are to increase aggregate demand in the economy, to manage resource allocation, to manage distribution of income, and to promote development of the country. To achieve these objectives, government announces many measures in the fiscal policy, but while doing so, almost every year, the government's expenditure is greater than government's income. So when government runs out of money, it goes for borrowing. And the difference between this expenditure and income of the government is called deficit. Every year in the budget, government announces fiscal deficit for the last year and expected deficit for the coming year as a percentage of GDP. So is it true that government can increase its deficit as much as it wants simply to increase the expenditure? The answer is no. Actually, in 2003, we had the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, in short the FRBM Act. According to this act, government must reduce the fiscal deficits gradually year after year. This act is binding on the government and therefore forces the government to resort to less deficits. But like all our major laws, this also has some loopholes and escape clause, using which government can increase the deficit to some extent in times of urgent need. But overall, FRBM Act has helped to reduce the deficit and keep a regular check on it. With this, we have completed this unit in detail. Now let's move to some practice questions to check our progress. First question is, what is the full form of MSS? And the answer is D. Market Stabilization Scheme. The FRBM Act was enacted in which year? And the answer is C. 2003. The rate at which banks lend money to the RBI for a short period is called? And the answer is B. Reverse repo. Which of the following is not allowed as a component of SLR? And the answer is D. Banks own shares. If SLR is reduced, liquidity in the economy will? And the answer is A. Increase. If SLR is reduced, banks will have more loanable funds and the liquidity in economy will increase. That's it for today. If you like this session, please share it with your friends, and if you have any query or suggestion, please write it down in the comment section. Thank you.